Good morning, good afternoon. You know the deal. It's wherever you are, it's good. So today we're here with our podcast, Who Closed Last Night, and it's brought to you by Walnut Street Hospitality. I'm Stan, and this is Zach. And once again, we're here with a little bit of news, a little bit of fun, a little bit of maybe not funk, but good stuff. Zach?
For all of those of you industry people, small business people, anybody that has a customer, you know the feeling when you walk into your place of business and you're like, who closed last night? The place is a mess. Things didn't get done. Things were missed. And all of us have had that experience. And this is the place to showcase it.
Do you think that really ever happens?
Oh, man, too many stories.
Well, so that's what we're about. And how this whole thing works is we start off with what we'll call the question, right? The real life question. Then what we'll go to next is the real life story. And then we're going to end with the real life lesson of the week. And again, all of this is, this isn't stuff you learn in school. It's not stuff you read in a textbook. It's stuff that you go into work and you say, what the bleep happened to that? So with that, are you ready to get started?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. So first of all of us, this is geared at entrepreneurs. Let's be real. Entrepreneurs in the hospitality, retail, and food and beverage industry. Not to say that other people won't find it interesting, but this is really about life. And one of the things, if you own a business, you can't be there 24/7.
No way.
You can try to be there 24/7, and that probably helps or detracts from your longevity in the business, I would think.
Very much so.
So this is about when you're not there. Have you taught your managers, your leaders, your supervisors to make the same decisions that you would make if you were there?
Hopefully they're even thinking that question, right?
That's a good...
Do most small businesses or entrepreneurs knows what happens when they're not there?
So I think that's a good point, but that's probably a whole episode in itself.
I'd agree with you.
This is about empowerment. It's about making the right decision at the right time. It's about saying, oh, wait a minute, this is outside of the lines. Am I going to color outside of the lines, or am I going to get my hand smacked?
That's correct, and I think an important question to ask yourself as a small business owner or a business owner operator is, have you taught your managers to fish, or are you giving them fish, right? Have you taught them how to handle business with some guidelines so they can make an informed decision and you give them enough rope to make that decision? Or have you become the ball and shackle of your business, right? And everything goes through you and everybody calls you and you don't have people that can fish.
That's a great analogy. By the way, one of the things I forgot to do here is tell you the title of this. This is called Managers Spin the Wheel of Fortune. And I think we call it that because when you have a manager and you're not there, you are literally spinning that wheel and you don't know where it's going to stop, right?
Winner or loser, who knows? Who knows?
Winner, Kahlua pork dinner. Okay, so first we're going to give you this story. And so we've given you kind of the question, what happens when you're not there? Do they make the right choices? Are they filling in for you? Or are they just punching the time clock, right?
Is it just a job?
Is it just a job? So I got a story for you. I think I probably complained about this story all the time. When I first moved back to Hawaii, I had a friend that was coming to visit me from the Philadelphia area, and this person is a workout fanatic, right? They can't miss a workout. They were going to be in Hawaii for 2 weeks, so I decided, being the wonderful guy that I am, that I would go down the street and go to this fitness center. We won't call it by name, but it's open 24 hours a day. So
No hints.
No hints, but you can figure that out probably. So I walk in and I go to the counter and the counter's not busy. Occasionally they're handing out a towel, something, that takes a lot of work. But at the end of the day, I ask if I can buy a 2-week guest pass. And the person there said, "Oh, I don't know. Let me get the assistant manager who's in charge today." The assistant manager comes to the front, and I present her with my request. Would it be possible for me to buy a 2-week guest pass? And her response to me was, "We don't sell 2-week guest passes. We sell a 1-week guest pass." And I said, "Okay,
Wow.
how about if I buy 2 of those?" And she said, "Well, we only sell a 1-week guest pass." And I said, "So what you're telling me is if I have someone coming in from out of town for 2 weeks, that you can't sell me 2 weeks worth of gym
Help
time.
me out, bro.
Just help me out. Whatever it costs, I'll pay it. It's not
Some customer service, please.
just some customer service. Try to give the customer what they want."
Right.
And she put on her RBF, and I said, "Oh, all I'm trying to do here is get some service."
I'm trying to give you some money.
Yes. And I've said that in so many places, I can't even tell you. So she says to me, "I'm sorry, we only sell 1-week guest passes."
Oh, man.
So I said,
She's
"Okay."
missing the point.
She missed, she never, the point was never in her mind.
Never registered.
Right? Never registered. So she let me walk out the door, giving them no money.
Wow.
So then I went to the gym about 2 miles up the street.
I bet the owner of the first place would have done things differently to not miss out on that sale.
Well, and that's what I'm getting at, right? What difference would it have made 2 weeks, 1 week, right? So here's what happened. I went to the other gym, 2 miles, probably 2 miles closer to the house.
Not your first choice either.
Not my first choice. They weren't open 24/7,
Right.
but they were open. I went in. They sold me a 2-week membership. By the time that 2 weeks was up, I got myself a membership. And so the moral to this story is that the first gym, the one that's open 24/7, they lost out on 2 weeks of a membership revenue and a subsequent year and a half, 2 years of my paying a membership that I hardly ever used.
And they missed out because nobody trained them to read between the lines or make an executive decision and say, "Hey, look, I'll sell you 2 1-week guest pass, and we're going to take care of you today," right? Thank you for coming in the door.
So do you think that you're out and about a lot, do you think that that's prevalent in our society, that if it's not a black and white decision process, that people are afraid to make a gray choice?
Yes. Yes. I think, and it's unfortunate because I think that a lot of entrepreneurs, they try to make the right decision. They try to train people to make the right decision or to be them in their absence. But I think when you don't prepare for everything, right, a lack of planning, you leave people and they're afraid to make a choice.
Yes. Well, one of the things that you told me that I thought was extremely insightful, interesting, and profitable
Oh,
is about when people come to your restaurants
yes.
at closing time.
Let me tell you about that. I'll share it with everybody. So this is kind of the opposite side of the coin. Either your team is prepared to handle questions and make decisions, or they're not, right? So the gym was a good example of one where they weren't prepared to handle that opportunity, right? Because it's all opportunity in business. So the other side, when they are prepared, is, and I love this message. It's the best ever. So it's the end of the day for whatever restaurant is closing down, and you get a text message saying, "Hey guys, sorry, but the reports are going to be late today." And they say, "We just had a group of 10 walk in, and we're going to take care of them." And so even though Yelp, Google, or website, we're supposed to be closed, right? Or 2 minutes to closing, whatever it is, I have a full staff there. The food's still hot, right? And people plan their trips, and it kind of sounds silly because I hear it so many times, but people plan their trip to Hawaii, and we're always a part of that planning, right? Kono's North Shore. We do a pretty good job, but we care.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch. They want to make a point. We're on their list, and they got to come to us, right? So they spent all day at the beach, shopping up and down the strips, and they lost track of time having fun, right? They rush over. They get there right before closing, at closing, and they're like, "Look, before we jump this bus back to town, can we please, you've been on our list for 6 months," right? And I love knowing that the manager knows how to make that call. "Yes, come on in. We're going to take care of you today. What can I help you with?" "Oh, my recommendation. Oh, you should try this or that." My favorite is the old school sandwich. If you're listening out there, guys. But that brings a lot of joy to me, right? It tickles me, right? Because we've done a good job of allowing the manager to know how to make decisions, and that they have the rope to make those decisions, right? And what's 20 more minutes to make 10 people's whole vacation, right?
Right.
And not only do you impress them with customer service, good food, hopefully, but they leave you a Yelp review. They talk and tell everybody what's going on, and how friendly we were, and how they came 5 minutes past the time we were opening, and we still took care of them. And I think that's powerful.
It's powerful, but I think something else that you just touched on there is, what message does that send, right? So they take that message,
Yes.
and they go back to wherever. And how many times have you had then the same people on the same vacation come back multiple times because of the way they treated you, or you treated them on their first visit?
Completely. And when you have multiple locations in a small area, right? So, they'll go to the Haleiwa store on the North Shore, and then the next day of their trip, they're going to be over on the east side of the island, right? Bumping around, checking out those beaches. And they're like, "Oh, Kono's." And automatically, without question, they're going to Kono's because of how we treated them.
Yeah.
Their last visit.
That's right. That's right. But that to I guess close the loop here, what we're talking about really is the ability to train your staff to make the same decisions that you would make if you were there. And as easy as that may sound, there are just so many things that happen in the grayness of business that you have to give them a little latitude to make those decisions. And really, they're not going to make the right decision all the time.
And you got to be okay with it.
And you got to be okay with it and use it as a training facility, right? It's something that they learned. You're going to talk to them about it. You're going to make sure they understand the whys and wherefores. But you've given them that latitude. You've given them that authority. You've given them that responsibility. And I would say that 90% of the time, it pays off.
I completely agree with you. And just to add something to that would be, I think they've got to understand the purpose. And the purpose is, we're all here for the guest. The guest comes here for food and service, right? And so they've got to know that the purpose is to make sure every guest leaves happy, right?
Yes.
Make it simple, right?
Yes.
And then you can use different obstacles throughout life as they come. They're going to make the wrong decision. You teach them. It's a coaching opportunity. They make the right decision. You praise them, right? But you talk about it every time. So I'm sure the first time this happened, it was a question mark. It was probably a phone call that I got like, "Hey, these people just come in. I don't know what to do." Right? And I said, "Hey, do we have food hot? Are we staffed?" let's take care of them today, right? Let's take care of them all the time. And then that's the rule of thumb.
So I'm going to go back a little further than that, because I probably think the first time that we found out about it was in a review that said we got there when there were 2 minutes left and they wouldn't serve us. And I think that's what started the whole let's take care of the guest, right? Let's take care of the guest. And so, one of the things, we're now down to that, what's the lesson here? And I think what we're saying really, there's a couple lessons, but I know you're going to go ahead and give me your take, and then I'm going to toss mine in there.
For sure. I think one of the lessons is, do you know what happens in your business when you're not there? And is the right thing, is what you would want to happening when you're not there?
Right. So that all goes back to a couple things. How do you build your business? And you build your business one customer at a time.
One customer at a time.
And the other part of that is none of us are here. Well, I don't think so, at least not in my opinion. None of us are here is a not-for-profit business. We all need profit to survive, to live, to support the families that work in our restaurants. We all need that. And so for your team to turn down business that's readily available is like saying, hey, you don't have to pay me today.
Literally knocking on your door. Business that's knocking on your door.
Walking in the door. So here's what it comes down to. The lesson is that there are three things that should be taken into consideration when we get down to the end here. And I think the lesson is quite simply this. The first thing is, the decision that needs to be made is, what will it make the customer happy? Right?
Yes.
Because if it makes the customer happy, then...
And it's not against the law.
And it's not against the law, and it's not going to break any moral codes of conduct or anything like that. If it makes the customer happy, it's probably good for your business.
Yes.
Number two, other than a slight inconvenience, would there be any other reasons that you would not make that decision, that you wouldn't be willing to... whatever that decision is.
Spend 5 minutes to make a milkshake.
Spend 5 minutes to make a milkshake. Decide that you can do this combo that a customer asked for, that they wanted their steak walking out of the kitchen instead of on a plate. I mean, unless there's something other than a slight inconvenience that would hurt people, why wouldn't you do it?
Why not?
Right? Why not? Why not?
Why not make someone's day?
Why not make someone's day? That's the second thing. And then lastly, again, this goes back to revenue and
being a business.
If the owner were there, if the general manager were there, would they have made the same decision? Or would they have made a different decision? And I think once you combine all three of these and decide that we're not breaking the law, we're going to make this person happy, it might be a slight inconvenience, but who cares? It's part of doing business. And lastly, what would my boss want me to do?
That's absolutely correct. And it's easy.
The answer is usually, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Instead of looking for the reasons why you can't make a customer happy or why you can't fulfill someone's requests, spend that time into figuring out how to come up with a solution.
Build your reputation.
Build your reputation.
In a positive way.
In a positive way. So these are all of the things, that's what we wanted to talk about. We wanted to make sure that your team, when you pick them and they spin the wheel, that it's landing on a bonus.
I think that means a winner.
A winner. Winner. Again,
pork dinner.
This whole podcast was to take items that maybe you've encountered, you don't know how to address. And even though we have a podcast about it, feel free to call us. Feel free to contact us. Calling is probably old school. I'm a little old school. So yes, I still make phone calls. But how do people get in touch with us?
We want to hear from you. We're going to have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. YouTube, Spotify, all our links in the details below. And my favorite part of this is we want to hear from you. We want to hear your Who Closed Last Night story of the week, for everybody in the service industry, everybody that has a customer, retail, bar, hospitality. Even if you just got a funny story you want to share with us that kind of fits what we're doing, send that to whoclosedlastnightpod, P-O-D, at gmail.com. And we'd love to feature you on our show. We want to laugh with you. We want to cry with you. We want to relate.
If you want to be on our show.
Uh-oh.
How about
Even
that?
better.
That's some gray area right there. If you want to be on our show, reach out to us. We'd love to maybe get you in via Zoom or however all of this stuff happens. Maybe rub the bottle and the genie pops out, whatever it takes. We can probably make that happen. But we're excited for you to have to follow us on Who Closed Last Night by Walnut Street Hospitality Group. I know it sounds a little cheesy, but
Until next time.
aloha.